Hey everybody, I hope you all are doing well. This is Joe with Acres, clearly not on the homestead. I am on my way home from my work job that pays the bills so I can homestead. And in case y'all, if you haven't watched my channel very often, I'm, other than I talk a ton, have a tendency to have diarrhea of the mouth, as they say. But one of the things about me is I spend a lot of time thinking about the philosophical nature of things, the philosophical nature of homesteading. By the way, it's cold here in Kentucky, and when you're bald, you always have a beanie on. So you're going to see me this time of year with a beanie on 99.9999999% of the time, up to and including indoors. It depends. But always, if I have to go outside to stomp on a bug, I'm going to put a beanie on. So, the joys of being bald. Beanie weather. It's cold here in Kentucky. But, once again, I really try to focus on the why. I feel like the why you homestead is more important than the how in the beginning, because the why will fuel the how. The why will drive you to figure out the how. You'll figure out how to do something if your why is strong enough for it. And the why becomes so important in life. The reason that you do something becomes more important than how you do it. The reason that you do something will fuel you to continue to be a good person in the manner with which you perform your job and your duties, you know. And this becomes important in life, and this becomes important in your homesteading. And because I have I say civilian job because it's some rain in me, but because I have a kind of because I have the other job, there's so many parallels in life and the way that things work in the real, quote-unquote, real world and the way that things work in the homestead world. One of the things I wanted to talk about on my drive home was really your self-projection of yourself. What do you think of yourself? Are you mentally strong? Because homesteading will tax you. You will be stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched when you homestead. But even then, one of the things you're going to run into when you homestead is people will think you're crazy. Out in our neck of the woods, we have a little piece of property out in Indiana, and it's a small acreage, 4 an acre. And our neighbors are generally supportive of the concept of what we do, the idea of being self-sufficient and taking care of yourself and making your own food. Like, you know, we're out far enough in the rural areas. Well, that's supported. But man, the look on my neighbor's face when we had, 10 tons of mulch, in our front yard, waiting to get spread out in our garden, he was sure that was going to bring I was going to bring termites all over our house, and that was crazy. And we just kind of had to, take it at dear value and move on. This was the same neighbor that said that you couldn't raise chickens out there because the coyotes would get them all. And it's definitely something that we took as advice with a grain of salt, so that it made sure we had protection for our animals. But, the how has still been contested, even out in the boondocks area that we're at. People still think it's a little crazy. And you're going to run into that as a homesteader. At the Homesteaders of America's conference, there was a gentleman who asked during one of the Q&As, asked kind of, what do I do? My family doesn't, he was in a situation with one of the people that lived at his house, didn't support what he was doing, and how to win them over. And my honest internal, and I spoke to him a little bit afterwards, was like, why, if that person's paying your bills, then yeah, they have every right to talk about the way that you live your life. If you're paying my bills, then you have a say in it because you're making it happen. But hell, if you ain't paying my bills, I don't care. Like, if you're not part of what brings food to my table and takes care of my family, then I'm not going to lose a minute's sleep worried about how you think about me or what you think about me. And a lot of it too is when we talk about, taking care of your needs and, how do you take challenges of your life? It isn't just, I don't care because you don't pay my bills. I don't care because I know what I want to do and what I need to do. And if you're going to be a homesteader, you have to commit to it, and you have to commit your energy and your personality and psyche to it, because it is hard. And you're going to find people who think it's, oh, that's great, but they don't think it's really something plausible. And you're going to have to you need to build yourself up for that. Part of that mental, social, psychological approach to homesteading needs to be, I can do this, and I can do this, therefore I am going to do this. Because my purpose, my why is big enough, I'll figure out the how. I mean, it may not look great. The stuff that I've put together is not going to win me any awards. I always joke that Maya from Roots and Refuge, who can build everything, jerk, his stuff is perfect. My stuff looks like, you wouldn't buy any of my stuff if it was a yard sale. You'd look at it and be like, well, the lumber's probably still good. But you know what? It works. And my why fuels the how, and my how makes it happen. And then when I make it happen, it fuels me more and more and more. But that's based on your steps. So you have to have cemented your own value and your purpose so you can homestead. So also allows you to do the crap you need to do in order to homestead. I don't really want to be working this job. I want to be taking care of my family through our homestead. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. And your why, it can't be bigger than your, than what you need. I've got to make sure my why is big enough to fuel me, and I've got to have it be decisions made off of my purpose, not out of my ego and my arrogance. But that's ramblings for a different day. But if you've made it this long, I'm grateful. We don't do editing software here. I pretty much just do it all on one take. And it's cold here in Kentucky. I hope it's warmer wherever you are, or I hope if it's whatever it is, you're doing fine. And interesting thing, going if you made it this long, I'd like to know what the weather was for you guys where you are. So just go on and put in the comments, what's the weather like where you're at? If it was cold, did you have some snow? Are your chickens doing well? Ours definitely do not like the cold. The furthest I've seen these chickens fly has been getting away from the snow ground back to their coop. So just my random thoughts for the day. Hope you're doing well. Have a great day. Bye.